You can hear me back there. Oh, we can all hear me. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. I'm Brian Brooks. I'm a choreographer. I'm currently sharing with you this new motion tracking equipment. This is not what I came in wearing today. I had a really nice button down and shiny shoes. But I'm really happy to see you today and have the opportunity to speak briefly before our show about some of the background of how we got here. I'm a New York-based choreographer and dancer. Was awarded a Mellon Foundation Creative Artist Research Grant and Fellowship here at the University of Washington with the Meany Center for the Performing Arts. This began about 2 years ago. I was one of 33, is that true? 30 different artists in theater, dance, and music that have received research fellowships funded by Mellon Foundation. Thank you. And I came in and I said, I don't know what I'm researching. They said, exactly. So it began. As a kind of independent choreographer in New York with scarce resources for dance, I've always had this pull toward technology, but I don't have the resources to do it. So the fellowship quickly steered me into tech and what I've been learning, some people call immersive technology. So I was excited about that idea because we talk about dance being an immersive art form. And so I thought, how can we find dance without the body? Can we find dance and movement in tech? And through that, I was finding a lot of choreographers and artists didn't want to use tech for dance because they feel like it distances and it's not of the body, so it's not immersive. And why do tech dance when you can just see a live performance? Is it a less than? So through my research fellowship here, which has been totally amazing, I mean, headbands included, I have started 2 projects, so I'm kind of introducing them briefly for you tonight before my concert in the theater, which I'm assuming you're here for too, but maybe it's just the headband. So the first is a process-based tool that's going to take a few years to develop, so we're kind of in the early stage, and it's the motion tracking. These are sensors built in Brooklyn by Notch. It's pretty easy. So I'm hooked up to my iPad, and we're just displaying it for you. I'm supposed to stand still. We're displaying it for you on the TV. So it's recording me now. It's just upper sensors, so this will be, okay. It's downloading. So you can set the sensors where you want. You can put them in the legs too. So as I show you the graphic, it'll be weird because the legs will be stationary, but it tracked these 6 sensors, and it's tracking all of their relationships, and it loads the data into this program. So it's motion tracking, it's catching every angle, every move I do, and we've been using it in our dance studio. The dancers are very distracting because the laughs kind of out. We're not too professional right now. It's like entertainment value is high and the research value is, we gotta, right, so there we are. So this is what I just did. And you can zoom in, you can rotate the view, you can get underneath. So it captures the motion I just did. You can get above. You can get a bird's eye view. So the specificity is pretty incredible to me. I remember that moment, actually. And what it's also doing is, what we can't see is this, a little bit of this data here. Like I just pulled up the left elbow, and it's showing numbers go by of degrees of the flexion, extension, pronation, and rotation. So you can pause it, and as we do in the studio, although it's a little, it's so nerdy, but, so it'll show you 54 degrees flexion and 12 degrees supination. So it's giving you like detailed movement analysis. They're using it a lot in sports and sports medicine right now to track, like if your golf game is off, you might see that you're kind of like angling out. So we're kind of trying to pull it into art and dance making to serve a lot of purposes. Fashion is one, but also we are thinking about the applications for it. Could be beyond documentation in a new way to really capture dance in 3 dimensions and in really detailed ways, the way that notation doesn't, and certainly the way 2D video on our iPhones doesn't. It goes beyond and gets you kind of into the body. The next step, which is complicated, there are no programs or apps right now that do generative movement creation with the angle that we'd like to. So we're going to take the data and teach the computer how to analyze my impulses. So how, not just to take my positions and then reorder them and spit them back out, but I'm hoping we're working with programmers to do maybe my right elbow leads a movement through the shoulder, through the hips, and then down through the foot into my head. So that'd be how I'd choreograph, perhaps. And then the thing that doesn't exist is the computer understanding kind of what I'm calling intuition or movement impulses or instincts, how one thing sends and causes a chain reaction. The computer doesn't have physics. So we're trying to teach it intuition, physics, and I'm talking about aesthetic, so that if you wore it, you would look good, but also your movements would be different than mine. So we want the computer to absorb your impulses and your sense of space and how you connect things, so that if you wore it as an artist, you could get your own aesthetic enhanced or at least reflected upon. So this is a process tool that we've been building here, which is really fun to share with you, although slightly embarrassing. But we also have been doing another project, which is launching here tonight, I think right now. Are we launching this now? I think I'm launching this. Cool. So during my time here, I was connected from CoMotion Labs, which is part of the university, to a tech startup here in Seattle, Omnivore Media, whose director, Adam Kirk, is back here, is Nathaniel sitting next to him. I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope I talk about this properly. So I'm gonna get really nervous because I'm like, an interpretive dancer, and I'm going to try to explain what they do. So chime in if I'm off. But the second project we've been doing is less process-based, and it's more about performance. So we've been really excited about perhaps accessibility in dance, and what, rather than trying to show my dances not in a theater but on an app, which would be less than what you're going to get tonight by my beautiful company, if I don't mind saying. But we were thinking of maybe choreographing things and using the tools of tech, these new tools of viewing and distribution, to influence choreographic ideas. So we're trying in the beginning to create dances that'll exist only on your phone, that you will download and view wherever you may be. So it deals with the point of view that you have through your phone, and it deals with, well, you'll see. So this is it. Let's see. What are we going to use? Postcard? We could use the poster. All right. There's an image that was used for, I think we're doing this, aren't we? This is called volumetric video. There's virtual reality and there's augmented reality. Virtual reality is when you put the goggles on and you think you're in the desert. Your whole reality is obscured by the goggles and you can be taken somewhere else. Augmented reality is when you open your camera on your phone, you see where you are, but digital media comes in and overlays on top of it, so you think things are there that are not, like me. So we have Omnivore, and this is my camera, so you can see I'm looking at the room. Now, this picture of the dancer is a target, so when I pointed it there, I've popped up. And so I can see you sitting there in the audience, and I'm saving a lot on my chiropractor bill right now. You know what I mean? That's a good understudy. So this is still, to me, like a magic trick. I was filmed with Adam at their studio here in kind of a little booth, and was way smaller than I had hoped, but we managed. There's 50 cameras, how many? Ballpark 50, could be a little less, although it doesn't work as well, it could be many more. In this kind of dome all around you. So as I dance, there's two kinds of cameras in 50 placements picking me up, a 2D kind of traditional video camera and then an infrared camera that can perceive depth and 3 dimensions. So then in post-production, they take what I've done and it stitches all those cameras together and creates the image you just saw. So it's a 3D image. So you can basically, if you had that iPad or phone, you could walk around where it's positioned because it's anchored like GPS. It's just anchored there. It won't move in the room. And you can just walk around and study me from all angles if you would like. I don't point my feet, so don't even bother. But you can get a view. The wild thing too, do we have a postcard? Yeah, is that that's my dog. That's really why we're here. She's my wallpaper on this one, but okay. So you can also just point it at this, and I've popped up ticket. You can hold the iPad. So you basically can move it around and you could view from any angle. So we could just hit that to reset, hit that to try it if you want to play. You just point. We have another one I'm going to send around. Is that okay? And when you're done, you just close out with 5 fingers and then open it to do a new one. So Adam and Omnivore have scaled the image. So if you have the tiny postcard, you get a mini me. My crew's calling it a mini B. And as the image gets bigger, it's scaled. So there'll be some posters in the lobby you could explore now. At intermission, we'll have ushers also with the equipment so you can explore it if you want then. But I'll be almost life-size on the large posters. So we're so excited to kind of play with this tonight with you. The next step would be to get this to a speed that is able to be downloaded and that you could stream. So next season, we're looking to choreograph a piece that you wouldn't have to come here and take my iPad with my dog, Mona, on the wallpaper. You could actually just go to the website, get the Omnivore app, download it, and put me up on your kitchen table. So you could see the dance in your environment. So we're then thinking, well, what kind of dance do people want to see in their homes through this little window, and how do I control the time and tempo of the dance if the viewer can move this anywhere and leave and go check Facebook and come back later? There's no time or narrative. It's really different. In the theater tonight, you'll see I'm going to hijack you. I'm going to keep you in every second and guide you through exactly the story I want. This new tech takes that away from me, and it gives you pretty much directorship, right? You have the phone, you turn it on when you want, you put me where you want. Fun stuff. So it's pretty exciting because when we started, we were like, well, what happens, what do you lose when you take dance out of the body? And I'm finding you actually gain. I think you gain. We have new tools, potentially new accessibility, and a new way of thinking about dance and choreography. So it's also set off, these tools have set off a lot of exploration for me in my studio. So when we don't have the tech tool, I've found that my choreographic language and analysis has been influenced by my work with you, Adam, and by speaking to other tech partners here at Meany and the university. So that's been kind of amazing to me, that as fun as all of this tech is, it's having an impact on the art form and on the breathability of me and my dancers and on the exchange and the empathy we have in the room, because we're able to further analyze ourselves through different graphics and look at it through different lenses. So I've been really excited about the potential, and I'm very excited that you're here tonight to see all this and play with it. So Michelle Witt, Director of Meany, thank you so much. Elizabeth Duffel, where have you gone? Somewhere. She's probably doing something I'm supposed to be doing, and that's what she does. She takes care of me so much, and this project wouldn't be around without you guys, so thank you. The show will start at 8. You can find, there's multiple me's tonight, so I apologize, but have fun. Thanks for coming. Good night.